second. Ready? He's ready for Shakespeare. All right, ready? Here we go. And Shakespeare! You ready? I'm ready. Yeah.
Nice eyes. We're stumbling around the point.
Yeah, we're waiting. Okay, guys. My name is Marcus Osborne, and I'm the director of this thing. Welcome to Comedy of Errors, presented by B Theater in association with the San Angelo Museum of Fine Arts. I've seen some of you out here. This has been a lot of fun. The community reaction that we've gotten to this has been phenomenal. I know our crowd tonight is small, in part by the glorious rain. Small but mighty, thank you, Ron. If it does open up upon us tonight, we will most likely head into the breezeway and try to finish. I hope it doesn't, but there's a chance. You know, if you feel like you don't want to be out here, if you feel like it might open up and you don't want to be out here and you want to go to your car, don't feel like you can't do that. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. This is a very organic experience. We're going to try to keep going if it's light. If it gets really bad, we'll shut it down also. The bathroom is down the hall to the left in the breezeway. Also, that way it'll be to the right. There's no intermission in this show, and the reason for that is if we start any sooner, normally, it's very hot. If we have an intermission, this thing runs right about an hour, 49 minutes. If we start too much later, it's way dark before we're done. We don't have any lights, we don't have any sound. We got the sun, and that's it. So if you feel like you got to use the restroom, don't feel out of place. Get up and go. Nobody's going to judge you. You'll see the actors moving around. I mean, there's not ushers that are going to be like, oh, you can't go sit down now. No, it's not like that. So anyway, you guys sit back and enjoy the show, okay?
Thank you.
Proceed, Sir Linus, to procure my fall, and by the doom of death end woes and all.
Merchant of Syracuse, bleed no more. I'm not partial to infringe our laws, the enmity and discord which of late sprung from the rancorous outrage of your duke to merchants. Our well-dealing countrymen, who wanting guilders to redeem their lives, have sealed his rigorous statutes in their blood that excludes all pity from our threatening looks. For since the horrible and internal wars twixt thy seditious countrymen and us, it hath long in solemn synods been decreed, both by Syracusans and ourselves, to admit no traffic to our adverse town, nay, more. If any born of Ephesus be seen at any Syracusan marts and fairs, again, if any born of Syracuse come to the bay of Ephesus, he dies. His goods confiscate to the duke's dispose, unless 1,000 marks be levied to quit the penalty and to ransom him. Thy substance, valued at the highest rate, cannot amount to 100 marks. Therefore, by law, thou art condemned to die.
Yet this my comfort, when your words are done, my woes end likewise with the evening sun.
Well, Syracusian, say in brief the cause. For what reason thou departst thy native home, and for what cause thou camest to Ephesus?
A heavier task could not have been imposed than I to speak my griefs unspeakable, yet that the world may witness that my end was wrought, not by vile offense, but by nature, I'll utter what my sorrows give me leave. In Syracuse was I born, and wed unto a woman happy but for me, and by me had not our luck been bad. With her I lived in joy. Our wealth increased by prosperous voyages I made to Greece, until my partner's death, and the great care of goods at random left, drew me from kind embracements of my spouse, from whom my absence was not 6 months old, before herself, almost at fainting under the pleasing punishment that women bear, had made provision for her following me, and soon and safe arrived where I was. There had she not been long, before she became a joyful mother of 2 goodly sons, and which was strange, the one so like the other as could not be distinguished but by names. That very night, in the self-same inn, a poorer woman was delivered of such a burden, male twins, both alike. And these, for their parents were exceeding poor, I bought and brought up to attend my sons. My wife, not meanly proud of two such boys, made daily motion for our home return. Unwilling, I agreed. Alas, too soon we came aboard. A league from Greece had we not sailed before the always wind-obeying deep gave any tragic warning of our harm. But longer did we not retain much hope, for what obscured light the heavens did grant did but convey unto our fearful minds the doubtless warrant of immediate death, which though myself would gladly have embraced, yet the incessant weepings of my wife, weeping for what she saw must come, and the piteous crying of the pretty babes that mourned for fashion, ignorant what to fear, forced me to seek delay for them and me. And this it was, for other means there was none. The sailors had sought for safety by our boat and left the ship, then sinking right to us. My wife, more careful of the latter born, had fastened him onto one end of a small spare mast, such as seafaring men provide for storms, and to him one of the other twins was bound, whilst I had been likewise heedful of the others. The children thus disposed, my wife and I, fixing our eyes on whom our care was fixed, fastened ourselves at either end of the mast, and floating straight, obedient to the stream, were carried toward Corinth, as we thought. At length, the sun gazing upon the earth dispersed those fatal vapors that had disturbed us. And by the benefit of his wished light, the seas waxed calm, and we discerned from afar two ships, making amain to us, from Corinth that, and from Athens this. There they came. Oh, let me say no more. Gather the sequel by what went before.
Nay, forward, old man. Do not break off so, for we may pity, though not pardon thee.
Oh, had the gods done so, I had not now worthily termed them merciless to us. For ere the ships could meet by twice 5 leagues, we were encountered by a mighty rock, which being violently borne upon, our helpful ship was splitted in the midst. If I, in this unjust divorce of us, fortune had left to both of us alike what to delight in, what to sorrow for. Her part, poor soul, seeming as burdened with lesser weight, if not with lesser woe, was carried with more swiftness before the wind, and in our sight they three were taken up by fishermen of Corinth, as we thought. At length, the other ship had seized on us, and knowing whom it was their fate to save, gave healthful welcome to their shipwrecked guests, and would have reft the fishers of their prey had not their bark been very slow of sail. Therefore, homeward did they bend their course. Thus have you heard me severed from my bliss, that by misfortune was my life prolonged, merely to tell sad stories of my own mishaps.
And for the sake of them that thou sorrowest for, I beg you, do dilate it full. What hath happened of them and of thee until now?
My youngest son, yet my eldest care, at 18 years became inquisitive after his brother, and importuned me that his attendant, so his case was light, reft of his brother, yet retaining his name, might bear him company in quest of him whom, whilst I labored of a love to see, I hazarded the loss of whom I loved. 5 summers now have I spent in furthest Greece, roaming clean through the bounds of Asia, until, coasting homewards, I came to Ephesus, hopeless to find, yet loath to leave unsought of that or any place which harbors men. And here the story of my life must end. Yet happy were I in my timely death, could all my travels warrant me that they live.
Unfortunate Aegean, whom the fates have marked to bear the extremity of dire mishap. Now trust me, Were it not against our laws, against my crown, my oath, my dignity, which princes would they may not disannul, my soul would sue as advocate for thee. But thou art adjudged to the death, and past sentence may not be recalled, but to our honor's great disparagement. Yet I will favor thee in what I can. Therefore, merchant, I will limit thee this day to seek out thy life by beneficial help. Try all the friends thou hast in Ephesus, beg thou, or borrow to make up the sum and live. If not, thou art doomed to die. Jailer, take him to thy custody.
I will, my lord.
Hopeless and helpless, the Fijian wind, merely to procrastinate my lifeless end.
Therefore get out you of Athens, lest too soon your goods be confiscated. This very day is the Fijian merchant now apprehended for a rival, not being able to pay out his life according to the statute of the town, dies in the worst on the west. There's your money I have.
Go. Bear to the inn where we host, and stay there, Dromio, till I return to thee. Within this hour it will be dinner time. Till that I'll view the manners of the town, peruse the traders, gaze upon the buildings, and then return and sleep within mine inn. For with long travel I am stiff and weary. Hey, get thee away.
Many a man would take you at your word and go indeed, having so good a mean.
A trusty villain, sir, that very oft when I am dull with care and melancholy lightens my humor with his merry jests. What will you walk with me about the town and then go to my inn and dine with me?
I'm invited, sir, to certain merchants of whom I have taken much benefit. I crave your pardon. Soon at 5 I will meet with you upon the mart, and afterwards consort with you till bedtime. My current business calls me from you now.
Farewell till then, I will go lose myself and wander up and down the beauty city.
Sir, I commend you to your own concerns.
He that commends me to mine own content commends me to the one thing I cannot get. I to the world am like a drop of water that in the ocean seeks another drop, who falling there to find his fellow forth unseen, inquisitive, confounds himself. So I to find a mother and a brother, in quest of them unhappy, lose myself. What? Here comes the almanac of my true date. What now? How chance thou return so soon?
Return so soon? Rather approach too late. The capon burns. The pig falls from the spit. The clock has struck 12 upon the bell. My mistress made it 1 upon my cheek. She is so hot because the meat is cold. The meat is cold because you have no stomach. You have no stomach, having broken your fast. But we that know what 'tis to fast and pray are penitent for your default today.
Stop in your wind, sir. Tell me this, I pray. Where have you left the money that I gave you?
Oh, 6 pence that I had a Wednesday last to pay the saddler for my mistress' bridle. The saddler had it, sir. I keep it not.
I am not in a sportive humor now. Tell me and dally not, where is the money? We being strangers here, tell me how thou darest trust so great a charge from thine own custody.
I pray you, ere as you sit at dinner, I come from my mistress in post. If I shall return, I shall be post indeed, for she will scorn your fault upon my head. Methinks your gut, like mine, should be your clock, and strike you home without a messenger.
Come, Romeo. Come. These jests are out of season. Reserve them till a merrier hour than this. Where is the gold I gave in charge to thee?
To me, sir. Why you gave no gold to me?
Oh. Come on, sir knave, have done your foolishness. Then tell me how thou hast disposed thy charge.
My charge was but to fetch you from the mart, home to your house, and wife, sir, to dinner. My mistress and her sister stays for you.
In what safe place have you bestowed my money, or I will break that merry sconce of yours that stands on tricks when I am undisposed. Where is the 1,000 marks thou hast to me?
I have some marks of yours upon my head, some of my mistress marks upon my shoulders, but not 1,000 marks between you both.
Thy mistress's marks? What mistress, slave, hast thou?
Your worship's wife, my mistress at thy house, she that doth fast until you come home to dinner, and prays that you will hurry home to dinner.
What wilt thou flout me thus unto my face, being forbid? There, take you that, sir knave!
For God's sake, hold your hands! Nay, if you will not, I will take my heel.
On my life, by some device or other, the villain is o'erwrought of all my money. They say this town is full of deceit, as nimble jugglers that deceive the eye, dark working sorcerers that change the mind, soul-killing witches that deform the body. Disguised cheaters, fast-talking swindlers, and many other such like liberties of sin. Well, if it proves so, I'll be gone the sooner. Out to the inn, to go seek this slave. I greatly fear my money is not safe.
Neither my husband nor the slave returned. Then in such haste I sent to seek his master. Troller Gianna, it is 2 o'clock.
Perhaps a merchant hath provided him, and from the market he's somewhere gone to dinner. But sister, let us dine and never fret. A man is master of his liberty. Time is their master, and when they see time, they'll overcome, if so be patient.
Why should their liberty than ours be more?
Because their business still lies out the door.
Look, when I serve him so he takes it ill.
You know he is a bridle to your will.
There's none but asks will be bridled so.
Why headstrong liberty is lashed with woe? There is nothing situate under heaven's eyes, but hath his bound in earth and sea and sky. The beasts, the fishes, and the winged fowls are males to their subjects and their controls. Men, more divine, the masters of all of these, lord of the wide world and wild watery seas, induce of intellectual sense and souls, of more preeminence than fish and fowls, are masters to their females and their lords, and let your will attend on their accords.
The servitude makes you to keep unwed.
And not this, the troubles of the marriage bed.
But were you wedded, you would bear some sway.
Here I learn love, I'll practice to obey.
How, if your husband starts another wear?
Till he come home again, I would forbear.
Patience unmoved. No marvel though she pause. They can be meek that they have no other cause. A wretched soul bruised with adversity. We bid be quiet when we hear it cry. But were we burdened with like weight of pain, as much or more would we ourselves complain. So thou, that hast no unkind mate to grieve thee, with urging helpless patience wouldst relieve me. But if thou live to see life right bereft, this full beg and patience of thee will be left.
Well, I'll marry one day, but to try. Ah, here comes your man. Now is your husband nigh.
Say, is your tardy master now at hand?
Nay, he's at 2 hands with me, and that my 2 ears can witness.
Say, didst thou speak with him? Knowest thou his mind?
Aye, aye. He told me his mind upon mine ear. Curse his hand, I scarce could understand it.
Spake he so doubtfully thou couldst not feel his meaning?
Nay, he struck so plainly I could too well feel his meaning.
But say, I prithee, is he coming home? It seems he hath great care to please his wife.
Why, mistress, sure my master is horn mad.
Horn mad, thou villain!
I mean, not cuckold mad, but sure, he is stark mad. When I desired him to come home to dinner, he asked me for 1,000 marks in gold. 'Tis dinner time, quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Your meat doth burn, quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Will you come home to dinner, sir, quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Where is the 1,000 marks of gold I gave thee, villain? The pig, sir, quoth I, is burned. My gold! Quoth he. Will you come home, sir? Quoth I. My gold! Quoth he. My mistress, sir. Quoth I. Hang up thy mistress, I know not thy mistress, out on thy mistress.
Quoth who?
Oh. Quoth my master. I know, quoth he, no house, no wife, no mistress. So that my errand due into my tongue, I thank him and bear home upon my shoulders. For, in conclusion, he did beat me there.
Go back again, thou slave, and fetch him home.
Go back again and be new beaten home? For God's sake, send some other messenger.
Back, slave, or I will break thy head across.
And he will bless that cross with another beating. Between you, I shall have a holy head.
Hence, chattering peasant, fetch thy master home.
Am I so round with you as you with me, that like a football you do spurn me thus? You spurn me hence, and he will spurn me hither. If I last this service, you must case me in leather.
Sigh, how impatience loureth in your face.
His company must do his minions grace. Whilst I at home starve for a merry look. Hath homely age, alluring beneath my fortune? Then he hath wasted it. Or my discourse is dull, bare in my wit? If voluble and sharp discourse be marred, unkindness blunted more than marble hard. Do their gay vestments his affections fate? That's not my fault, he's master of my state. What ruins are in me that can be bound by him, not ruined? He is the ground of my defeatures. My decayed fair, sunny look, and his would soon repair. But as an unruly deer, he breaks the pale and feeds from home.
Self-harming jealousy, fie beat it hence.
Unfeeling fools can with such wrongs dispense. I know his eye doth homage elsewhere, or would likely that he would be here. Sister, you know he promised me a chain. Or that alone he would detain, so he would keep fair quarter with his bed. I see the jewel thus enameled will lose his beauty, and yet the gold bides still that others touch, and often touching will wear gold. And no man that hath the name by falsehood and corruption doth it shame. Since that my beauty cannot please his eye, I'll weep what's left away, and weeping die.
How many fond fools serve not jealousy?
The gold I gave to Dromio is laid up safe at the inn, and the heedful slave is wandered forth in care to seek me out, by computation and mine host report. I could not speak with Dromio since at first I sent him from the mart. See, here he comes. How now, sir, is your merry humor altered? As you love strokes, so jest with me again. You know no end? You receive no gold? Your mistress has sent me to have me home to dinner? You were to fetch me to my house? Wast thou so mad that thus so madly thou didst answer me?
What answer, sir? When did I speak such a word?
Even now, even here, not half an hour since.
I did not see you since you sent me hence, home to the inn with the gold you gave me.
Villain, thou didst deny the gold's receipt and told me of a mistress and a dinner for which I hope thou felt'st I was displeased.
I'm glad to see you in this merry day. What means this jest? Pray you, master, tell me.
Yea, dost thou flout and jeer me in the teeth? Think'st thou I jest? I'll take that! It's that! It's that!
Pray, hold you, sir! Now your jest is earnest. Upon what bargain do you give it me?
Because that I familiarly sometimes do use you for my fool and chat with you, Your sauciness will make a jest upon my love, and make a common of my serious hours. When the sun shines, let foolish gnats make sport, but creep in crannies when he hides his beams. If you will jest with me, know my aspect, and fashion your demeanor to my looks, or I will beat this method in your sconce.
Sconce? Call you it? So you would leave beating? I would rather have it a head. And thus you use these blows long. I must get a sconce for my head, and ensconce it too, or else seek my wit in my shoulders. But I pray, sir, why am I beaten?
Dost thou not know?
Nothing, sir, but that I am beaten.
Shall I tell you why?
Aye, sir. And wherefore? For they say every why hath a wherefore.
Why, first for flouting me, and then wherefore urging it a second time to me.
Was there ever a man thus beaten out of season, when in the why and wherefore is neither rhyme nor reason? Well, sir, I thank you.
Thank me, sir, for what?
Marry, sir, for this something that you gave me for nothing.
I'll make amends next to give you nothing for something. But, say, sir, is it dinner time?
No, sir. I think the meat once that I have.
A good time, sir. What's that?
Basting.
Well, sir, then 'twill be dry.
If it be, sir, I pray you eat none of it.
Your reason?
Lest it make you angry and purchase me another dry basting.
Well, sir, learn to jest in good time. There's a time for all things.
I durst have denied that before you were so angry.
By what rule, sir?
Marry, sir, by a rule as plain as the plain bald pate of Father Time himself.
Let's hear it.
There's no time for a man to recover hair that grows bald by nature.
May he not do it by fine and recovery?
Yes, to pay a fine and buy a wig and recover the lost hair of another man.
Why is time such a miser of hair, being as it is so plentiful? So plentiful an excrement.
Why, sir, 'tis a blessing that he bestows upon beasts. That which he hath scant in man in hair, he hath given in wit.
Why, there's many a man hath more hair than wit.
None but he. None but he that hath the wit to lose his hair.
Yea, thou didst conclude hairy men plain dealers without wit.
The plainer the dealer, the sooner lost. Yet he loseth it in a kind of jollity.
For what reason?
For two, and sound ones too.
Nay, not sound, I pray you.
Sure ones then.
Nay, not sure in a thing falsing.
Certain ones then.
Name them.
The one, to save the money that he spends in tiring. The other, so that at dinner they should not drop in his porridge.
You would all this time have proved there's no time for all things.
Nary, sir, and did. Namely, no time to recover hair lost by nature.
But your reason was not substantial. There is no time to recover.
Thus I mend it. Time himself is bald, and therefore the world's end will have bald followers.
I knew 'twould be a bald conclusion. But soft, who wafts us yonder?
I, Antipholus. Look strange and frown. Some other mistress has thy sweet looks. I am not Adriana, nor thy wife. The time was once when thou unurged wouldst vow that never words were music to thine ear, that never object pleasing in thine eye, that never touch well welcome to thy hand, that never meat sweet savor did thy taste, unless I look or spake or carved or touched to thee. How comes it now, my husband? How comes it that thou art thus estranged from thyself? Thyself I call it, being strange to me. That undividable, incorporate, and better than thy dear self's better part. Do not tear away thyself from me, for know, my love, as easy mayest thou fall. A drop of water in the breaking gulf, and take unmingled that same drop again without addition or diminishing, and take from me thyself and not me too. How dearly would it touch me to the quick, shouldst thou but hear I were licentious. And that this body consecrated to thee by ruffian lust should be contaminant. Wouldst thou not spit at me, and spurn at me, and hurl the name of husband in my face, and tear the stained skin off my harlot brow, and cut from my false hand the wedding ring, and break it with a deep divorcing vow? I know thou canst, and therefore see thou do it. I am possessed with an adulterate blot. My blood is mingled with the crime of lust. For if we two be one and thou play false, I do digest the poison of thy flesh, being corrupted by thy contagion. Keep then far league, and truce with thy true bed. I live unstained, thou undishonored.
Lead you to me, fair dame? I know you not. In Ephesus I am but 2 hours old, who every word by all my wit being scanned, want wit in all one word to understand.
My brother, how the world has changed with you. When were you wont to use my sister thus? She sent for you by Romeo home to dinner.
By Romeo?
By me? By thee. And this thou did return from him, that he did buffet thee, and in his blows deny my house for his, me for his wife.
Did you converse with this gentlewoman? What is the course and drift of your compact?
Sir, I never saw her till this time.
Villain! Thou liest! For her, very words thou didst deliver to me on the mart.
I never spake with her in all my life.
Then how can she thus call us by our names unless it be by inspiration?
How ill agrees it with your gravity to counterfeit thus grossly with your slave, abetting him to thwart me in my mood? Be it my wrong, you were from me exempt, but wrong not that wrong with a more contempt. Come, I will fasten on the sleeve of thine. Thou art an elm, my husband, I a vine, whose weakness, married to thy stronger state, makes me with thy strength to communicate. If aught possess thee from me, it is dross, usurping ivy, briar, or idle moss, who all for want of pruning with intrusion, infect thy sap, and live on thy confusion.
To me she speaks. She moves me for her theme. What was I married to her once in my dream? Or asleep by now and think I hear all this? What error drives our eyes and ears amiss? Until I know this sure and certainty, I'll entertain the offered fallacy.
Romeo, go bid the servant spread for dinner.
Oh, for my beads. I crossed me for a sinner. This is the fairyland. Oh, spite of spites. We speak with goblins, owls, and sprites. If we obey them not, this will ensue. Now suck our breath, or pinch us black and blue.
Why mumble to thyself and answer us not? Dromio, thy drone, thy snail, thy slug, thy saw.
I am transformed, master! Am I not?
Thou art in mind, and so am I.
Nay, master! Both in mind and in my shape!
Thou hast thine own form.
No! I am an ape!
If thou art changed to aught, 'tis to be an ass.
Tis true. She rides me and I long for grass. Tis so. I am an ass. Else it could never be, but I should know her as well as she knows me.
Come no longer will I be a fool to put a finger in the eye and weep, whilst man and master laugh my woes to scorn. Come, sir, to dinner. Dromio, keep the gate. Husband, I'll dine above with you today and absolve you of 1,000 idle pranks. Sir, if any ask for your master, say he dines forth, and let no creature enter. Come, sister. Oh, Dromio, play the porter well.
Am I in earth, in heaven, or in hell? Sleeping or waking, mad or well advised? Known unto these and to myself disguised. I'll say as they say, and persevere so. And in the midst of all these adventures, go.
Shall I play porter at the gate?
Aye, and let none enter, lest I break your pace.
Come and tip us. We died too late.
Ah.
Good Master Angelo, you must excuse us all. My wife is shrewish when I keep not hours. Say that I lingered with you at your shop to see the making of her chain, and that tomorrow you will bring it home. But here's a villain that would face me down. He met me on the mart and said that I beat him and that I charged him 1,000 marks in gold, and that I did not have my wife and my house. Thou drunkard, what sayest thou?
Say what you will, sir, but I know what I know. You beat me at the mart. I have your hand to show. If the skin were parchment and the blows you gave were ink, your own handwriting would tell you what I think.
I think thou art an ass.
Marry, so it doth appear, by the wrongs I suffer and the blows I bear. I should kick being kicked, and being at that pass, you would keep from my heels, and beware of an ass.
You're sad. Master Balthazar, pray God our cheer may answer my goodwill and your good welcome here.
I hold your dishes cheap, sir, and you're welcome, dear.
I do, although my dishes be cheap, whether it's fresh or fish, a table full of welcome makes scarce one dainty dish.
Good meat is common, sir, which every man affords.
And welcome more common, for that's nothing but words.
But small cheer and great welcome make for a merry feast.
I to a stingy host and more sparing guest. Though my food be simple, take them in good part. Better cheer you may have, but not with better heart. Soft, my door is locked. Go bid them let us in.
Maud, Bridget, Marion, Cecil, Jillian, Jake.
Blockhead, Mulhorse, Capon, Coxcomb, idiot, Patch! Either get thee from the door, or sit down at the hatch. Dost thou conjure for riches that callest for such a store when one is too many? Go, get you from the door.
What clown is made our porter? My master stays in the street.
Let him walk from whence he came, lest he catch cold on his feet.
Who talks within there? Who opened the gate?
I'll tell you when, sir, and you tell me wherefore.
Wherefore? For my dinner. I have not dined today.
Nor today, here you must not. Come again when you may.
What art thou that keepest me out from the house I own?
The porter for this time, sir. My name is Dromio.
Oh, villain! Thou hast stolen both my office and my name. The one near got me credit, and the other plenty blame. If thou hast been Dromio today in my place, thou would have changed thy face for name, or thy name born ass.
What fuss is there, Dromio? Who are those at the gate?
Let my master in loose.
Faith, no. He comes too late. And so tell your master.
Lord, I must laugh. Haven't you with a proverb? Shall I set it in my staff?
Haven't you with another? That's when can you tell? If thy name be called Loose, thou hast answered him well.
You minion! Let me in!
Well, I thought to have asked you, and you said no.
So come help. Well struck, there was blow for blow.
Oh, baggage! Let me in!
Can you tell for whose sake?
Master, knock the door hard.
Let him knock till it aches.
You'll cry for this minion! I beat the door down!
What needs all that? And a pair of stocks in the town? Who is at the door that keeps all of this noise? By my troth, your town is troubled with unruly boys.
Are you there, wife? You might have said before.
Your wife, sir knave, will get you from the door.
If you went in pain, master, this knave would go sore.
Here is neither cheer, sir, nor welcome. We would fain have either.
In debating which was best, we will part with neither.
They stand at the door, master. Bid them welcome hither.
There is something in the wind that we cannot get in.
Would you say so, master? If your garments were thin, your cape is there warm within. You stand here in the cold. It would make a man as mad as a buck to be so bought and sold.
Go fetch me something. I'll break open the gates.
Break any breaking here, and I'll break your knave's cape.
Oh!
And man may break a word with you, sir. And words are but wind. Ay, and break it in your face, so he break it not behind.
It seems thou wantest breaking out upon thee, hind.
Here's too much out upon thee. I pray thee, let me in.
Windfowl have no feather, and fish have no fin.
Well, I'll break the door in. Go borrow me a crow.
A crow without feather? Master, mean you so? For a fish without a fin, there is a fowl without a feather. If a crow will help us in, sir, we'll pluck a crow together.
Get thee gone! Fetch me an iron crow!
Oh, have mercy, patience, sir. Oh, and let it not be so. Herein you war against your reputation, and draw within the compass of suspect the unviolated honor of your wife. Once this, your long knowledge of her wisdom, her sober virtue, and years and modesty lead on her part some cause as yet unknown to you. And doubt not, sir, that she will well excuse why at this time the doors are made against you. Be ruled by me, and depart in patience, and let us elsewhere all go to dinner. And then, about evening time, come yourself alone to know the reason for this strange restraint. For if by strong hand you break in now in the stirring passage of the day, a vulgar comment will be made of it, and that supposed by the common route against your as yet unstained reputation. That will, with foul intrusion, enter in and dwell upon your grave when you are dead, for slander lives upon succession, forever housed where it gets possession.
You have prevailed. I will depart in quiet, and despite mirth, mean to make merry. I know a wench of excellent discourse, pretty, witty, wild, and yet gentle. There we will dine, this woman I mean. My wife hath oftentimes upbraided me withal. Get you gone. Go home and fetch the chain by this I'll note is made. Bring it to the place I dine. There's the house, and chain will I bestow, be it for nothing but to spite my wife. Get thee gone and fetch the chain. If my own doors refuse to entertain me, I'll knock elsewhere and see if they'll disdain me.
I'll meet you at that place some hour hence.
Do so. This jest shall cost me some expense.
And maybe his wife hath forgot a husband's awful challenge. Even in a spring of love, thy love springs rot? Shall love and build and grow so ruinous? If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake, use her with more kindness. Or, if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth. Muffle your false love with some show of blindness. Let not my sister read in your eye. Be not thy tongue as thine own shame's orator. Look sweet, be fair, become disloyalty. Apparel vice like virtue's messenger. Bear fair presence, though your heart be tainted. Teach sin the carriage of a holy saint. What need she be acquainted? What simple theft brags on his own attaint? 'Tis double wrong to true with your bed, and then let her read my looks at dinner. Shame hath a bastard fame well managed. Ill deeds are double with an evil word. Alas, poor women! Make us but believe we compact of credit that you love us. Though others have the arm, show us the sleeve. We in your motion turn, and you may move us. Then, gentle brother, get you in again. Comfort my sister, cheer her, call her wife. 'Tis holy sport to be a little vain, when the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife.
Oh, sweet mistress, what your name is else I know not, nor by what wonder you do know of mine. Less in your knowledge and your grace you show not, than our earth's wonder, more than earth divine. Teach me, dear creature, how to think and speak. Lay open to my earthly gross conceit, smothered in error's feeble, shallow, weak, the folded meaning of your words deceit. Against my pure soul's truth, why labor you to make it wander in unknown field? Are you a god? Would you create me new? Transform me then into your power, I'll yield. But that I am I, and well I know, your sister is no wife of mine, nor to her bed no homage do I owe. Far more to you do I decline. Oh, trade me not, sweet mermaid, with thy note, to drown me in thy sister's flood of tears. Sing, siren, for thyself, and I will dote. Spread o'er the silver waves thy golden hairs, and as a bed I'll take them, and there lie. And in that glorious supposition think, he gains by death that hath such means to die. Let love, being light, be drowned if she sink.
What, are you mad that you do reason so?
Not mad, but mated, how I do not know.
It's a thought that springeth in your eye.
From gazing upon your beams, fair sun being by.
Well, gaze where you should, and that will clear your sight.
As good to wink, sweet love, as look on night.
Why call you me love? Call my sister so.
Thy sister's sister.
That's my sister.
No, it is thyself. Mine own self's better part. Mine eyes clearer eye, and my heart's dearer heart. My food, my fortune, my sweet hope's aim, my soul earth's heaven, and my heaven's claim.
All this my sister is. or else should be.
Call thyself sister sweet, for I am thee. For thee I love, and with thee lead my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor I no wife. Give me thy hand.
You're good. I'll fetch my sister to get her goodwill.
No.
Romeo! Who runs thou so fast? Do you know me, sir? Am I Romeo? Am I your man? Am I myself?
Thou art Romeo. Thou art my man. Thou art thyself.
I am an ass. I am a woman's man besides myself.
What woman's man and how besides thyself? Besides thyself.
Marry, sir, besides myself. I am due to a woman. One that claims me, one that haunts me, and one that will have me.
What claims lays she to thee?
Marry, sir, such a claim as you would lay upon your horse, and she would have me as a beast. Not that I, being a beast, she would have me, but that she, being a very beastly creature, lays claim on me.
What is she?
A very reverent body, sir. Such a one as a man may not speak of without he say, Sir, reverence? I have but lean luck in the match, and yet she is a wondrous fat marriage.
How dost thou mean a fat marriage?
Marry, sir, she's the kitchen wench and all the grease. And I know not what use to put her to, but to make a lamp from her, and run from her by her own light. I warrant her rags and the tallow in them will burn a Poland winter. She were live till doomsday, she'd burn a week longer than the whole world.
What complexion is she of?
Swart, sir, like my shoe, and yet her face nothing half so clean kept. For why? She sweats. A man may go over shoes in the grime of it.
That is a fault that Walter will mend.
No, 'tis ingrained. Noah's blood could not do it.
What's her name?
No. And yet her name and 3/4, that's an L, and 3/4 would not measure her from hip to hip.
Then she bears some breadth.
No longer from head to foot, than from hip to hip. She is spherical, like a globe. I could find whole countries in her.
And what part of her body stands Ireland?
Marry, sir, in her buttocks. I found it out by the bogs.
Where Scotland?
I found it by the bareness, hard in the palm of her hand.
Where France?
It stood in her forehead, armed and reverted, making war against her hair.
Where England?
I looked for the chalky cliffs, but I could find no whiteness in them. So I guess it stood in her chin by the salt room that ran between France and it.
Where Spain?
Faith, I saw it not, but I felt it, hot in her breath.
Where America? The Indies?
Oh, sir, upon her nose, all o'er embellished with carbuncles, rubies, and sapphires, declining their rich aspect to the hot breath of Spain, which sent whole armadas of ships to be ballast at her nose.
Where? Belgium? The Netherlands?
Oh, sir, I did not look so low. To conclude, this drudge or diviner laid claim to me, called me Dromio, swore I was assured to her, told me what privy marks I had about me, as the mark of my neck, the mole of my shoulder, the great wart of my left arm, that I, amazed, ran from her as a witch. And I think, if my breast had not been made of faith, and my heart of steel, oh, she had transformed me into a curdled dog and made me turn in the wheel.
Hurry thee presently, post to the road, and if the wind blow any way from shore, I will not harbor in this town tonight. If any ship ports forth, come to the mart, where I will walk till thou return to me. If everyone know us, and we know none, 'tis time I think to trudge, pack, and be gone.
As from a bear a man would run for his life, so I fly from she that would be my wife.
Break! There's none but witches do inhabit here, and therefore 'tis high time that I were hence. She that doth call me husband, even my soul doth for a wife abhor. But her fair sister, possessed with such a gentle, sovereign grace of enchanting presence and discourse, hath almost made me traitor to myself, and unless myself be guilty of self-wrong, I'll stop mine ears against the mermaid's song.
Master Antipholus!
Ah!
Master Antipholus!
Aye, that's my name.
I know it well, sir. Lo, here's the chain. I thought to have taken you at dinner. The chain unfinished made me stay thus long.
What is your will that I shall do with this?
What please yourself, sir? I have made it for you.
Made it for me. I bespoke it not.
Not once, nor twice, but 20 times you have. Now go with it home and please your wife and daughter. Soon at supper time, I'll visit you and then receive my money for the chain.
I pray you, receive the money now, for fear you ne'er see chain nor money more.
You're a merry man, sir. Very well.
What I should think of this, I cannot tell, but this I think. There is no man is so vain that would refuse so fair an offer chain. I see a man needs not live here on tricks when in the streets he meets such golden gifts. Out to the mart, and for their Dromio state, any ship puts forth, then straight away.
You know, since Pentecost, the sum is due, and since I have not much importance to you, nor now I had not but to purge that I am bound among fielders for my voyage. Therefore make present satisfaction, or I'll attach you by this officer.
Even just the sum that I do owe to you is growing to me by Antipholus, and in the instant I met with you, he had me a chain. At 5 o'clock, I'll receive the money for the same. Pleaseth you, walk with me down to his house. I will discharge my bond, and thank you, too.
That labor may you say. See where he comes.
Now, while I go to the goldsmith's house, go thou and buy a rope's end. Bring it back to my house. That will I bestow upon my wife and her confederates for locking me out of doors by day. Go now, fetch me a rope's end.
I buy £1,000 a year. I buy a rope.
A man is well helped that trusts to you. I promise your presence and the chain, yet neither goldsmith nor chain came to me. Belike you thought our love would last too long as it were chained together, and therefore came not.
Saving your merry humor, here's the bill. How much your chain weighs to the utmost carat? The fineness of the gold in chargeful fashion, which doth amount to 3 odd ducats more than I stand indebted to this gentle lady. I pray you see her presently discharged, for she is bound to sea and stays but for it.
I am not furnished with the present money. Besides, I have some business in town. Take you the stranger to my house, and with you bring the chain. Then have my wife disperse the sums upon the receipt thereof. Chance I will be there as soon as you.
Then you will bring the chain to her yourself.
No, bring it with you, lest I come not time enough.
Well, sir, I will. Have you the chain about you?
And if I have not, I hope you have, or you may leave without your money.
Hey, come, pray, sir, give me the chain. Both wind and tide stay for this gentle lady, and I to blame have held her here too long.
You use this dalliance to excuse your behavior at dinner. I should have chided you then for not bringing it, but first, like a shrew, you first began to brawl.
The hour steals on. I pray you, sir, dispatch.
Hear how he importunes me, the chain.
Why, give it to my wife and fetch your money.
Come, you know I gave it to you even now. Either send the chain or send me by some token.
You run this humor out of breath. Where is the chain? I pray you, show it to me.
My business cannot break this dalliance. Good, sir. Say whether you'll answer me or no, or I'll leave you to the officer.
Answer you? Why should I answer you?
The money that you owe me for the chain.
I owe you none till I receive it.
Oh, I gave it to you half an hour since.
You gave me none. You wrong me much to say so.
You wrong me more, sir, in denying it. Consider how it stands upon my credit.
Well, officer, arrest him at my seat.
I do so. Arrest you. And in the name of the Duke, bid you obey me.
Oh, either consent to pay this sum for me, or I attach you by this officer.
Consent to pay thee that I never had? Arrest me, foolish fellow, if thou darest.
Here is thy fee, officer. Arrest him. I would not spare my brother in this case, if he should scorn me so apparently.
I do so. You do hear the suit.
I do hear, and I will obey until I give thee bail. But you, sir, shall answer with all the metal in your shop shall purchase.
Sir, I will have law and emphasis to your notorious shame, I doubt it not.
Master! Oh, Master. There is a ship of Athens that stays until her owner comes aboard, and then, sir, she bears away. Our luggage I've conveyed aboard. I have bought the oil, the balsam, the distilled wine. The ship, sir, is in her trim. The merry wind blows fair from land. They stay for naught at all, but for their owner, master, and yourself.
How now? A madman! Thou insolent sheep, what ship of Athens stays for me?
The ship you sent me to hire passage.
I sent thee home for a rope's end and told you to what purpose and to what end.
You sent me for a rope's end as soon. You sent me to the bay, sir, for a ship.
Debate this matter at more leisure. Get your ears to listen with more heed. Hurry, villain, to Adriana. Give her this key. And tell her that in the chest that's covered over with Turkish tapestry, there lies a purse of ducats. Have her send it. Tell her I'm arrested in the street. And that shall bail me. Hurry, to Adriana. On, officer, to prison till it come.
To Adriana! That is where we dine today, where that sweetheart may play marriage with me. She's too big, I hope, for me to compass. Thither I must, although against my will, for servants must their masters' minds fulfill.
Did he tempt thee so? And mightest thou perceive austerely in his eye that he did plead in earnest? Yea or no? Looked he red or pale? Or sick or merrily? What observation madest thou in this case of his heart's meteors tilting in his face?
First he denied you had him in no right.
Meant he to me none, the more my spite?
Then he swore he was a stranger here.
And true he swore, though yet forsworn he were.
Then pleaded I for you.
And what said he?
But the love I begged of you, he begged of me.
With what persuasion did he tempt thy love?
With words that and an honest suit might move a person who praise my beauty than my speech.
But speaking fair,
Have patience, I beseech.
I cannot, nor I will not hold me still. My tongue, though not my heart, will have his will. He is deformed, crooked, old, and fair, ill-faced, worse-bodied, shadeless everywhere, vicious and gentle, foolish, once unkind, deformed in making worse than mine.
Who would be jealous of them such a one? No evil's lost, his whalebreed is gone.
But
We're gonna go to the breezeway.
but I think him better than I say. And what would yet Heronder's eyes were worse. Far from the nest, the lapwing cries away. My heart prays for him, though my tongue do hurt. Here, go, the desk, the purse. Sweet now, make haste.
How hast thou lost thy breath?
By running fast. Where is thy master, Romeo? Is he well? No. He's in tartar limbo, worse than hell. A devil in an everlasting garment, half in one whose hard heart is buttoned up in steel. Fiend, a fury, pitiless and rough. A wolf, nay worse, a fellow all in buff. A back friend, a shoulder clapper, one that countermands the passages of alleys, creeks, and narrow lanes. The hound that runs counter, and yet draws dry foot well. The one that before judgment carries poor souls to hell. Why, man, what is the matter? I do not know the matter. He's arrested on the gate. But what is he arrested? Tell me at whose suit. I know not at whose suit he's arrested well, but he's in us who have bumped and arrested him. That I can tell. Will you send him Mistress Redemption, the money in his desk? This I wonder at, that he unknown to me should be in debt. Tell me, was he arrested on a bond? Not on a bond, but on a stronger thing. A chain, a chain. Do you not hear it ring? What, the chain? No. No, the bell. It was time I were gone. It were 2 when I left him, and now the clock strikes 1. The hours come back. That I never hear. If an hour meet a sergeant in the street, it turns back for very fear, as if time were in debt. How fondly dost thou reason? Time is a very bankrupt, and owes more than he's worth to season. Nay, he's a thief too. Have you not heard men say that time comes stealing on by night and by day? If time be in debt and theft, and a sergeant in the way, hath he not reason to turn back an hour in a day? Go, Romeo, there's money here straight, and bring thy master home immediately. Come, sister, I am pressed down with conceit. Conceit my comfort, and my injury.
212 to 319, we're going to be at the
There's not a man I meet that doth salute me as if I were their well-acquainted friend, and everyone doth call me by my name. Some tender money to me, some invite me, some other give me thanks for kindness. Some offer commodities for me to buy. Even now, a tailor invited me in the shop and showed me silks that he had bought for me, and therewithal took measure of my body. Sure, these are imaginary wilds and Lapland and sorcerers inhabit here.
Here, gold you sent me for. What? Have you the picture of old Adam, new apparel?
What gold is this, and what Adam dost thou mean?
Not the Adam that kept the paradise, but the Adam that keeps the prison. He, sir, that goes in the calfskin
that was killed for the prodigal. He that came behind you, sir, like an evil angel, and bid you forsake your liberty.
I understand thee not.
Now, what's his plain case? He that went like a vase of vinyl in a case of leather. He, sir, that when gentlemen are tired, gives them rest and rests them. The man, sir, that takes pity on decayed men and gives them suits of durance. He, sir, sets up his rest to do more exploits with a mace than with a Morris pike.
What thou meanest, an officer?
Aye, sir. Sergeant of the bond. He that brings any man to answer it that breaks his bond. He that thinks a man only is going to bed and says, God give you good rest.
Well, sir, their rest in your foolery is in any ship that's for tonight. May we be gone.
I sent you word an hour since that the ship expedition puts forth tonight. Then were you hindered by the sergeant to tarry for the hoy delay. These are the angels you sent for to deliver you.
The fellow is distract, and so am I. And here we wander in illusions. Some blessed power deliver us from hence.
Well met, Mr. Antipholus. I see, sir, you have found the goldsmith now. Is that the chain you promised me today?
Oh, sing the voyage, charge thee, tempt me not.
Master. Is this Mr. Satan?
It is the devil.
Hey, nay, she's worse. She's the devil's dam. And here she comes in the habit of the light witch. There as is to say, witches say, God damn thee! Which is as much to say, God make me a light witch! It is written that they will appear to men as angels of light. Light is a touch of fire. Fire will burn. Therefore, light witches will burn. Come not near her. Oh, you're mad and you are marvelous, Mary, sir. Will you go with me? We'll end our dinner here. Master, if you do expect spoon meat, ask for a long spoon.
Why, Dromio?
Well, sir, he must have a long spoon that must eat with the devil.
Avoid then, be what thou tells me of supping. Thou art as you are all a sorceress. I conjure thee to leave me and be gone.
Give me the ring of mine you had at dinner, or for my diamond, the chain you promised, and I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble you. Most devils ask but for the clippings of one's nail, a rush, a drop of hair, a drop of blood, a hair, a pin, a cherry stone, but she, more covetous, asks for a change. I pray you, sir, be wise and give it to her not, for if you do, she'll surely shave her shame and try to keep it. I pray you, sir, my ring, or else the chain. I hope you do not mean to cheat me so.
Begone, thou witch! Come, Dromio, let us go.
Pride, says the peacock. Mistress, that you know. Oh, out of doubt, Antipholus is mad. Else would he never so demean himself. A ring of mine he hath worth 40 ducats.
Both one and other he denies me now. The reason, I gather, he is mad. Oh, besides this present instance of his rage, and the mad tale he told today at dinner of his own doors being shut against his way, he likes his wife, acquainted with his fits, on purpose shut the doors against his entrance. My way now is to hurry to his house and tell his wife that being lunatic, he rushed into my house and he took my ring away by force. This course I fit as choose. 40 ducats is too much to lose. Hey.
Hear me not, man, I will not break away. I give thee ere I leave thee so much money as to warrant I am rested for the day. My wife is in a wayward mood. Will not lightly trust the messenger that I have attached to Nemesis. I tell you, 'twill sound harshly on her ears. Oh, here comes my man. Perhaps he brings the money. Now, sir, have you that I sent you for?
Here's that, I warned you, will pay them all.
But where's the money?
Why, sir, I gave the money for the robe.
500 ducats still in for a rope?
I'll serve you, sir, 500 at the rate.
To what purpose did I send thee home?
To a rope's end, and to that end, I am returned.
And to that end, I will welcome you.
Nay, just for me to be patient.
Good now, hold thy tongue.
Nay, rather persuade him to hold his hand.
Thou whoreson! Senseless villain!
I would I were senseless that I might not feel your blow.
Thou art sensible in nothing but blows, and so's an ass!
I am an ass indeed. You may prove it by my long ears. I have served him from the hour of my nativity to this instant, and have nothing at his hands for my service but blows. When I'm cold, he heats me with beating.
Yeah.
When I'm warm, he cools me with beating. I am waked with it when I sleep, raised with it when I sit, driven outdoors with it when I go from home, welcomed home with it when I return. Nay, I bear it on my shoulders as a beggar does her brat, and I think when he hath flamed me, I shall beg with it from door to door.
Come, go along. I see my wife is coming yonder.
Mistress, respite finum, respect your end. Or rather the prophecy like the parrots, beware of the rope's end.
Wilt thou still talk?
Now say it now, is not your husband mad? His instability confirms no less. Good Dr. Pinch, you are a conjurer. Establish him to his true sense again, and I will pay you what you will demand. How fiery and sharp he looks. Mark how he trembles in his ecstasy.
Give me your wrist, let me feel your pulse.
Here's my hand, and let it feel your ear.
I charge thee, Satan, house within this man, to yield possession of my holy prayers, and to thy state of darkness fly thee straight. I conjure thee by all the saints in heaven.
Cheat, stubborn wizard, I am not mad.
Oh, that thou art not, poor distressed soul.
Are these your customers? Did this one with the saffron face, who feasted with harlots, while upon me the guilty doors were shut, and I kept out from my own home?
Oh, husband, God doth know you dine at home, where you have remained until this time, free from these slanders and open shame.
there.
And did not her kitchen maid rant, rail, and scorn against me?
Certainly she did. Kitchen Vestal scorned you.
Did I not depart from thence in rage?
In verity, you did. My bones bear witness that since have felt the vigor of his rage.
It's good to soothe him in these contraries.
It is no shame. The fellow finds his vein, and yielding to him, humors well his frenzy.
Thou hast suborned the goldsmith to arrest me.
Alas, I sent you money to redeem you by Dromio here, who came in haste for it.
Money by me, heart and goodwill you might, but surely, master, not a rag of money.
Wentest not you to her for a purse of ducats?
She came to me and I delivered it.
And I witnessed her that she did. God and the rope maker bear me witness that I was sent for nothing but a rope.
Mistress, both man and master is possessed. How knowest thou their pale and deadly looks? They must be bound in lace and dark rooms.
Why for didst thou lock me forth today? Why hast thou denied the bag of gold?
I did not, gentle husband, lock thee forth.
And gentle master. I received no gold, but I confess we were locked out.
Dissembling villain, thou speakest false and both.
Dissembling harlot, thou art false in all, and art confederate with a damned pack to make a loathsome, abject scorn of me. But with these nails I'll pluck out those false eyes that would behold me in its shameful sport.
Oh, bind him, let him not come near me.
More company! Oh, that fiend is strong in him!
What, wilt thou murder me? Thou, officer, thou! I am in thy custody. Wilt thou suffer them to make a rescue?
Master, let him go. He is my prisoner, and you shall not have him.
Bind this man, for he is burning down!
What wilt thou do, thou unfeeling officer? Hast thou delight to see a wretched man do outrage and displeasure to himself?
He is my prisoner. If I let him go, the debt he owes will be required of me.
I will discharge thee ere I go from thee. Bear me forthwith unto his creditor, and knowing how the debt grows, I will pay it. Good master doctor, see him today home to my house. A most unhappy day.
Listen to me, strumpet!
Master, I am entered in bond for you.
Peace. Helen.
Will you be bound for nothing? Be mad, good master. Cry the devil!
Go bear him hence! Sister, go you with me. Say now, and whose food is he arrested at?
One Angelo, a goldsmith. Do you know him?
I know the man. What is the sum he owes?
200 ducats.
How grows it due?
For a chain your husband had of him.
He did order a chain for me that had it not.
Well, when in all rage your husband came today to my house and took away my ring, the ring I saw on his finger now, straight after did I meet him with a chain.
That may be so, but I never did see it. Come, jailer, bring me where the goldsmith is. I want to know the truth, here at large.
Away, young girls!
See, these witches are afraid of swords.
She that would be your wife. Now they run from you.
Therefore, away to the inn to get our stuff when that's along that we were safe and sound aboard.
Faith, stay here this night.
give us gold. Methinks they are such a gentle nation that were it not for that mad mountain of mad flesh that claims marriage of me, I give my heart to stay here still and turn witch.
I will not stay for all of town. Therefore, away! Get our stuff aboard.
I'm sorry that I have hindered you, but I protest he hath the chain of me. Though most dishonorably he doth deny it.
How is the man here esteemed in the city?
Of very reverend reputation, of credit infinite, highly beloved, second to none that lives here in the city. His word might bear my wealth at any time.
Speak softly yonder, as I think he will.
'Tis so, and that self-chain about his neck, which he forswore most monstrously to have that serves run your cheek, I'll speak to him. Master Antipholus, I wonder much that you would put me to this shame and trouble, not without some scandal to yourself, circumstance and oath so to deny this chain, which now you wear so openly, besides the charge, the shame, imprisonment. You have done wrong to this, my honest friend, who but for staying on our controversy, had hoisted sail and put to sea today. This chain you had me, can you deny it?
I think I had. I never did deny it.
Yes, that you did, and forswore it too.
Who here heard me to deny it or forswear it?
By these ears of mine, thou knowest thou didst hear me. Fie on thee, wretch. 'Tis pity that thou livest where any honest man resort.
Thou art a villain to impeach me thus. I'll prove mine honor and mine honesty against thee presently if thou darest stand.
I dare, and do defy thee for a villain.
All right. Whoa!
Hurt him not, for God's sake, he is mad. Some do within him, take his sword away, and bind Romeo to your bait to my house. Run, Master, run! Take some house! Take some diary! Here we are,
Be quiet, people! Wherefore throng you hither?
to fetch my poor distracted husband hence. Let us come in, that we may bind him fast and bear him home for his recovery.
I knew he was not his perfect wit.
I am sorry that he did draw.
How long has his possession held the man?
This week he had been heavy, sour, sad, and much different from the man he was. But till this afternoon his passion may have breaking to extremity of rage.
Has not he lost much wealth by wreck of sea? Buried some dear friend? Has Elsa's eye strayed his affection in unlawful love? A sin prevailing much in younger men who give their eyes the liberty of gazing. Which of these sorrows is he subject to?
To none of these. Except an evil last, namely some love that drew him off from home.
You should for that have reprehended.
Why, so I did.
Aye, but not rough enough.
As roughly as my modesty would let me.
Fortunately in private.
And the similes too.
Aye, but not enough.
It was the copy of our conference. In bed, he slept, not for my urging it. At table, he fed, not for my urging it. Alone, it was the subject of my theme. And company, I often glanced it. Still, I felt that it was vile and bad.
And thereof came it that the man is mad. The venom clavers of a jealous woman, poisons more deadly than a mad dog's tooth. It seems his sleeps were hindered by thy railings, and therefore cometh them his head is light. Thou seest his meat was soft with thy upbraiding. Unquiet meals make ill digestions, and therefore the raging fire of fever bred, and what's a fever but a fit of madness? Thou seest his sports were hindered by thy brawl. Sweet recreation barred, and what doth ensue but moody and dull melancholy, kinsman to grim and comfortless despair, and at her heels a huge infectious troop of pale distempered
and foals delight. In food, in sport, and life-preserving rest, to be disturbed would bad a mad beast. The consequences is, thy jealous fits have scared thy husband from the use of wits.
She never reprehended him but mildly when he demeaned himself roughly and wildly. Why bear these reproofs and answer not?
She did betray me to my own reproof. Would people enter and lay hold on him?
No, not a creature enters my house.
Then let your servants bring my husband.
Neither. He took this place for sanctuary, and it shall privilege him from your hand until I have brought him to his wits again, or lose my labor in attempting it.
I will attend my husband, be his nurse, die his sickness, for it is my office and will have no attorney but myself. Therefore, let me have him home with me.
Be patient, for I will not let him stir until I have used the approved means I have, with wholesome syrups, drugs, and holy prayers, to make him a formal man again. It is a branch and parcel of mine oath, a charitable duty of my order. Therefore, depart and leave him here with me.
I will not hence and leave my husband here. And an ill doth beseem your holiness to separate the husband and the wife.
Be quiet and depart. Thou shalt not have him.
Complain unto the Duke for this indignity.
Come, go. I will fall prostrate at his feet and never rise until my tears and prayers have won its race over to come in person hither and take by force my husband from the abyss.
By this, I think, the dial points at 5, which I am sure the Duke himself comes this way in a melancholy veil, awaits in sorry death and execution behind the ditches of the abbey here.
Upon what cause?
To see Reverend Syracusation, who put unluckily into this bay against the laws and statutes of this town, he had it publicly for his offense.
Oh, see where they come, we will behold his death.
Kneel to the Duke before you pass the abbey.
Yet once again, proclaim it publicly. If any friend will pay the sum for him, he shall not die. So much we tender him.
Justice, most sacred Duke, against the abbess.
She is a virtuous and reverend lady. It cannot be she that hath done thee wrong.
May it please your grace. Antipholus, my husband, whom I made lord of me and all I had at your important letters. This ill day a most outrageous fit of madness took him. That desperately he hurried through the streets with his bondman just as mad as he, doing displeasure to the citizens. By rushing in their houses, bearing pence, rings, jewels, anything his rage could like. Once did I get him bound and sent home. Wills to take order for the wrongs I went that here and there his fury had committed. Suddenly, I know not by what strong escape, he broke loose from those that had guarded him, and with mad attendant and himself, both with wrathful passion, with drawn swords, met us again, and madly chased us away, till raising a more aid, we came again to bind them. And then they fled into this abbey here, whither we pursued them. And now, the abbess shuts the gates on us, and will not suffer us to fetch them out, nor bring him forward, that we may bear him hence. Therefore, most gracious Duke, at thy command, let him be brought forth and borne hence for help.
Long since thy husband served me in my wars, and I thee engaged a prince's word, whilst thou did take him as master of thy bed, to do him all the grace and good that I could. Therefore, some of you go, knock at the abbey gate, and bid the lady abbess come hither to me. I shall determine this before I stir.
Mistress! Fly and be gone! My master and his manor both broke loose, beaten the maids a row,
and bound the doctor, whose beard they have singed off with brands of fire, and ever as it blazed, they got giant pails of puddled mire to quench the hair. My master preached his patience all the while. His man with scissors nicked him like a fool, and I fear unless you send some present help, between them both they will kill the conjurer.
Peace, fool! Thy man and his master are here, so that is false without thou report to us.
tell my life, I tell you true. I have not breathed almost since I did see it. He cries and vows, if he can take you to scorch your face and he disfigure you. Hark, hark, I see him! Fly, fly!
Come, stand by me. Fear nothing. Guard with Albert.
On me. It is my husband. Witness you that he is born without his sister. Even now, we housed him in the abbey here, and there he is. Hasn't thought of human reason.
Justice! Most gracious Duke, oh, grant me justice. Even for the service I did thee in the war, where I took grievous wounds to save thy life. Even for the service I did thee then, now grant me justice.
Unless the fear of death doth make me dote, I think I see my son, Antipholus, and Romeo.
Justice, O great Duke, against that woman there, who hath shamed and dishonored me, even beyond the height of imagination of the wrongs that she hath done to me.
Discover how, and thou shalt find me just.
This day, most gracious Duke, she shut the doors upon me. Whilst within, she feasted with harlots.
A grievous fault. Say, woman, didst thou so?
No, my good lord. Myself, he and my sister today did dine together. So befall my soul, as it is false, he burdens me with all.
Never man look on day nor sleep on night, but she tells your highness the simple truth.
Oh, perjured woman, they are both lying. In this, the madman justly charges them.
My liege, I know what I am saying. Neither disturbed with the effect of wine, nor heady rash provoked with raging ire. This day, that woman locked me out of doors. That goldsmith, were he not packed with her, could witness it, for he was with me then. Parted my ways to go fetch a chain, which he was to bring to the place I dined with Balthazar. Our dinner done, not coming thither, I went in search of him in the street. Along the way, we met him and this gentle lady. Whereupon, this perjured goldsmith would swear me down and say that I, this day, of him, received a chain, which God he knows, I did not. For which he had me arrested, I did away and sent my man to my house at the first ducacy with none returned. So I asked the officer to go with me to my house. Along the way, we met my wife, her sister, and a rabble more vile confederates. Among them, one pinch, hungry, lean-faced man, this threadbare juggler, a dead-looking man, pernicious slave, took upon himself as a conjurer. And, feeling my hand, taking my pulse, and with no face eyes pour out facing me, declared, "Albus Hosea!" Whereupon they all fell upon me, bound me, carried me forth to a deep, dark room where I lay bound with my man. Till, gnawing my bonds asunder with my teeth, I gained my freedom and ran immediately hither to your grace, whom I now beseech to aid me in these great grievances and indignities.
My lord, in truth, thus far do I witness with him, that he died not at home, but was locked out.
Ah, but had he such a chain of thee or no?
Ah, he had, my lord, and when he ran in here, these people saw the chain about his neck.
Besides, I'll be sworn these years of mine, for you confessed you had a chain of on the mark, which then he denied it, and my man drew a sword on you. And he wanted to be out of here, which I think you are confined here.
screw on me. You burned me with all.
Mike, what an intricate impeach is this? I think that you have all drunk of Circe's cup.
No.
If here you house him, then here he would have been. If he were mad, he would not plead so coldly. You say that he dined at home tonight. The goldsmith here denies that same. Sir, what say you?
Sir, he dined with her there at her tavern.
He did, and from my finger snatched that ring.
I did marriage. This ring I had of her.
But saw you him enter the abbey here.
Sure not, lieges. I do see your grace.
This is strange. Go, call the lady abbess to me. I think that you are all naked, or stark mad.
Most mighty Duke, vouchsafe me speak a word. Luckily, I see a friend will save my life and pay the sum that may deliver me.
Speak freely, Syracusian, what thou wilt.
Is not your name, sir, called Antipholus? And is this not your bondman Dromio?
Within this hour, I was his bondman. But I thank him, not into my cords. Now am I Dromio and his man unbound.
Yeah. I am sure you both of you remember me.
Ourselves, we do remember by you as we were bound as you are now. You are not Pange's patient, are you, sir?
Why look you strange on me? You know me well.
I've never seen you before in my life.
Oh, grief hath changed me since you saw me last. Careful hours and time's deformed hand have writ strange features in my face, but tell me, yet dost thou not know my voice?
Neither.
Romeo? Nor thou?
No, sir, trust me, nor I.
I am sure thou dost.
But I am sure I do not. And whatsoever a man denies, you are now bound to believe him.
Not know my voice. Nor time's extremity hast thou so cracked and splitted my poor tongue, that in 7 short years my only son knows not my feeble key of untuned cares. Lo, time hath hid this graven face in sack-consuming winter's drizzled snow, and all the conduits of my blood froze up. Yet hath my night of life some memory, my wasting lamp some feeble glimmer left, my dull deaf ears a little used to hear. All these old witnesses cannot err. Tell me thou art my son Antipholus.
I never saw my father in my life.
But 7 years since, in Syracuse, boy, thou knowest we parted. But perhaps, my son, thou shamest to acknowledge me in misery.
The Duke and all here can witness. I never saw Syracuse before.
I tell you, Syracusian, 20 years have I been patron to Antipholus, during which time he ne'er saw Syracuse. I fear that thy age and thy dangers make thee dote.
Most mighty Duke, behold a man much wrong.
I see 2 husbands, or mine eyes deceive me.
One of these men is the spirit to the other. And so of these. Who is the natural man and who is the spirit? Who
Art thou not? Or else a ghost?
My old master. Who hath bound him here?
Whoever bound him, I will loose his bonds and gain a husband by his liberty. Speak, O Eon, thou beest the man that had as a wife once called Amelia, who bore ye had a burden, 2 fair sons. Oh, speak, O Eon, if thou beest the man, and speak unto the same Amelia.
If I dream not, thou art Amelia. If thou beest she, tell me where is the sun that floated with thee on that fatal raft?
By men of Athens, he and I, and the twin Romeo, all were taken up. But by and by rude fishermen of Corinth, by force took Romeo and my son from them, and me they left with those of Athens. What then became of them I cannot tell. I to this fortune that you see me in.
What? Here begins his morning story right. These 2 antiphonoses, these 2 so alike, and these 2 Dromios, one in semblance, besides her urging of her record. See why these are the parents to these children who are met here accidentally today. Antipholus, thou camest from Corinth, yes?
No, sir, not I. I came from Syracuse.
No, stay. Stand apart. I know not which.
I, sir, came from Corinth.
And I with him.
Brought here by that most renowned warrior, Duke Menaphon, your great uncle.
Which of you 2 did dine with me today?
I, gentle mistress.
Are not you my husband?
No! I can't hear that!
And so do I! Yet, she did call me thus, and this fair woman, her sister here, did call me brother. I hope I have said before, I hope I shall have leisure to make good, if this be not a dream I see or hear.
This is the chain, sir, which you had of me?
I think it be, sir, I deny it not.
And for this chain, you, sir, had me arrested.
I think I did, sir, I deny it.
I sent you money, sir, to be your bail by Dromio, but I think he brought it not.
No, none by me.
Are they looking at me? This purse of ducats I received from you, and Dromio, my man, did bring them me. I see we still did beat each other's man. I was paid for him and he for me, and therefrom these errors arose.
Pawn I these ducats from my father there.
No, it shall not need. Thy father hath his life.
Sir, I must have that ring from you.
There, take it, and thanks for my good cheer.
Renowned Duke, vouchsafe to take the pains to go with us into the abbey here, and here at large discourse all our fortunes, and all that are assembled in this place, that by thy sympathized one day's error have suffered wrong. Go and keep us company, and we shall make full satisfaction. 33 years have I begone in travail of you, my sons, until this present hour my heavy burden ne'er delivered. The Duke, my husband, and my children both, and you, the calendars of the nativity, go to a gossip's feast, and go with me after so long grief, such festivity.
With all my heart, I will gossip at this feast.
Yeah.
Come on.
No.
Dromio, what stuff of mine hath thou embarked with?
Your goods that lay at post, sir, in the inn.
To me, he speaks. I am your master Dromio. Come, go with us, we'll look to that presently. Embrace thy brother there, rejoice with him.
There is a fat friend of yours that kitchened you for me today at your master's house. She shall now be my sister, and not my Methinks you are my mirror, and not my brother. I see by you. I am a sweet-faced youth. Will you go in to see the gossipings? Not I, sir. You are the elder. That's a question. How shall we try it? We shall draw cuts for the senior. Till then, leadest thou first? Nay, then thus. We came into the world like brother and brother. Now let us go hand in hand, not one before another. Just go.
come into a space you've never rehearsed in and not completely fall apart. These guys did great. The resiliency, the professionalism that you guys just saw going from out here in the middle of a scene to in here is fantastic. I also want to thank all of you. You could have just